Genesis chapter 28, verse 16. Genesis chapter 28, verse 16. King James verse says, when Jacob awoke from his sleep,
Well,
he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. When Jacob awoke from his sleep,
well,
he thought, surely the Lord is in this place, and I was not aware of it. Turn to your neighbor and tell them, neighbor, I didn't understand. Amen. I didn't understand. I didn't understand. Oh, Lord, I'm depending on you. Oh, Lord, I'm depending on you. Oh, Lord, I'm depending on you. Now, dear Lord, I'm depending on you. Oh, Lord. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound, save the rich, a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Oh, Lord. Jesus bearing this cross alone. All the world, no matter wrong, but everyone. Think that there is the cross, be all alone. his glory. And in the process of showing us his glory, we can't see it a lot of times because it doesn't make sense. Sometimes we reject the favor of God because it doesn't feel or meet our comfort zone. But when we learn that God's ways is not our ways, we have realized that God doesn't do things according to the order of man. Sometimes when God is doing a greater thing, we may not understand it, but sometimes we just have to realize it's not about us. We have to learn how to trust him. Too many times we try to figure God out. And God is just saying, trust me. And in the process of what he's doing not making sense, I want you to know the worst thing we can start doing is challenging God. You know how we are, because God is trying to get us where we need to be. We start acting like we are the one in control. Start acting as if God is supposed to tell us what he's doing. But I want you to know, sisters and brothers, that God does not always reveal his plan. He always let us know that what he does is always in our best interest. Look at the disciples, how they were out there, and you know the story about the storm they were in. And in the midst of the storm, God was trying to teach them a lesson. When they didn't learn the lesson, he rebuked them. And after rebuking them, he then allowed them to go into another storm. That time he stood on the bench and watched them in the storm to see what their response was going to be. And they did the same thing that they did before a time. They did not pass the test because they could not figure out what God was doing. Some of us still in the same cycle, in the same way, because we can't figure out what God is doing. But Romans 11 and 33 teaches us his ways are past our trying to find out. The Bible shows the depths of the riches of wisdom and knowledge of God. How unsearchable are his judgment and his path of a doubt beyond our finding out. We got to learn that we can't figure God out. Amen. Yeah. We got to stop trying to figure him out. We need to learn how to trust him. Too many times we get in a mold of feelings, a mold of what I think, instead of just saying, Lord, I'm trusting you. We get in a spirit of rebellion against God because it seems like it's not of God. And we start rebelling, and you know the sad that, and I don't know what it is about this thing nowadays. We want to rebuke everything, but I stop by to tell you, you can't rebuke God. Y'all don't want me to preach. Yeah. We plead the blood and all this. The only time you get the opening of escape of pleading and rebuking is when Satan shows up. And because you're going through a situation you don't understand doesn't mean the devil showed up. Sometimes God just said, trust me. We got to realize not only that, but we're in our comfort zone, and sometimes what God does, it hurts us. Sometimes not only does it hurt us, but it takes us out of our comfort zone. We cannot let our feelings or our emotions or our attitude get in the way. Because when our feelings and attitudes get in the way, we're just letting the flesh rise up. But the Bible says we're supposed to crucify the old man daily. We must realize, sisters and brothers, the reason some of us can't trust God is simply because we don't want to change from the mess we in. Y'all looking at me funny. Yeah. You know you ain't doing right. Slipping and slide. Peeping and hide. Dipping and dodge. Then trying to tell somebody else how to live right. Y'all don't want me to preach. You know you mad with the world and got an attitude problem and then telling folks to hold their peace and let God fight their battle. You know you are in yourself because you always want to be in control and always y'all ain't saying nothing. But I hear the Lord say to tell you, you need to get out of self and let God take charge. Song to God said, I just want to show me His glory. Let me help somebody.
Well,
when you reach your potentials in God, you must allow God to push you till you get where you need to be. Everything that happened to you that's good is God trying to get you where you need to be. Now somebody say, how can death be good for me? Because you've been dependent on that person all these years and you won't go to work, and so God had to get them out of what y'all ain't saying to move you out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Isaiah said, when the King Uzziah died, I also saw the Lord. Yes, sometimes God has to let sickness come to make you realize your life is not in your hands. Y'all don't want me to preach. Sometimes He has to allow trouble to rise to make you realize you ain't deep as you think you are. Every day you ought to want a little more Jesus. Not only that, sister and brothers, sometimes He'll let your friends become your enemy. He'll then turn around and make your enemy become your footstool. But then sometimes He'll put you in the midst of chaos to get you out of where you are and make you, y'all ain't saying nothing, to make you become a person of value. Can I prove it? Prove it. The Bible says that in the church of Antioch, in Jerusalem, that the people were there comfortable. But He allowed disturbance to get out, and Saul, y'all know what I'm saying. Saul went down to Damascus to persecute the church. He caused chaos in the church. People had to run for their lives. But when running for their life, they told others the good news of Jesus. And when they told others the good news, the mission had started taking place. You got to realize, sister and brother, sometimes God will shake up your foundation to make you get out of your comfort zone so you can run and tell somebody about the goodness of the Lord. Too many times we want to just be quiet. Don't mess with me. I'm doing what I'm doing. But I stop by to tell you, when you're in God's hands, His will ought to be your will. You ought to lose your will in His will. No. I know you've been teaching and preaching. I know you've been singing and shouting. I know you've been speaking in tongues. I know you've been saying you got the Holy Ghost and the Holy Ghost got you. I know. Y'all don't want me to talk about it. That you say you're wrapped up, tied up, and tangled up in Jesus, but when the real deal come, y'all ain't saying nothing. When the proof come, can you be found guilty of loving God? How can you be found guilty? The writer said, me the work I done. Speak for me. Too many times we find ourselves not wanting to hear what the Lord has to say. Yes, because we don't want the spotlight. to shine on our soul.
That's right.
We don't want to see ourselves for who we are. I was talking to a friend one day, and a friend was telling me, he said, you know, preacher, I messed up. I said, what's the problem, son? He said, you know, I had a good wife. She loved me and she was faithful to me, man. But I got caught up in self. And I started slipping and tipping. And you know the Bible says nothing done in the dog won't come to the light. Yeah, y'all don't want me to preach. He said one day while I thought I was slipping and tipping, I found out somebody slipped in my house and tipped out with my wife. What I thought I had and thought it was all about me, I found out somebody knows how to treat her better. But y'all don't want me to preach. And when I looked around, I was all by myself because I was selfish. But God had to shake my life up to make me realize I had something good and then appreciate it. You know, most of us are guilty of that. We have things good and don't appreciate it. Good friends, good teachers, good preachers, good saints, good y'all ain't saying that, good church members, good family members, and don't appreciate them. And when they die, we want to holler and cry and fall out because you didn't appreciate them. Honey, it's too late. You better value what you got while you have. Because tomorrow is not promised. Look at him as we talk on Jacob. Jacob had deceived his brother. The Bible said not only did he deceive his brother, he took his brother's birthrights. You know how some of us are? We take advantage of people. And then we think we're right. But let me say, notice on your God had a plan. Yes, you say, how can he do such deceiving? How can he do anything of this nature and call himself right? But let me say, notice God took that to bring up a nation that became a lineage of Jesus. See, sometimes people are in line for the blessing, but because they don't appreciate what God is doing, they miss out on what God wants to do in their life. And God has to raise up someone else to carry on the blessing plan. Jacob now on his way back to his family to make amends for what he had done. But he prayed a prayer, Lord, I want you to protect me everywhere I go and bring me back to this land, and I will not leave you until I have done what I promised you. But don't you know, when you tell God something, you better make sure you mean just what you said. God began to deal with Jacob, but the Bible said he got sleepy and fell asleep with his head on a stone like a pillow. And while lying there, he had a dream of a ladder this up all the way up in the heavens. And he saw angels ascending and descending. And when he saw those angels, he heard the voice of the Lord saying, Jacob, I'm going to bless you. I'm going to bless you with descendants like the earth, like dust on the earth. And not only am I going to bless you, they'll spread from the east to the west, from the north to the south. He said, and wherever you go, I will take care of you. Jacob woke up and realized, surely the Lord is in this place. and I was not aware of what the Lord was doing. Don't you know God will take your worst situation and can turn it around and make it become your blessing when you begin to trust Him and recognize that He got all power in His hands. You begin to tell God, I'm rising up. He got a little olive oil and poured it on the rock and called the place Bethel, meaning that God is with them. This is where God dwells. I stopped by to tell you that a lot of times in your comfort zone, it seems like we are going through struggles and trials of life. It ain't your trouble. It's only God trying to shake you to make you become productive in the kingdom. It's only God trying to take you and mold you into the person He wants you to be in these last and evil days. That's why we don't have to fight against what God is doing. We need to just say, Lord, I don't understand what you're doing, but I trust you. Oh, Lord, because you told me that you'll never leave me and you won't forsake me. You told me that you will perform every good work in me and you shall bring it to pass. Can I get a witness? He told me, I wish I had a witness, Lord have mercy, that He would take us and show us of His glory if we only trust Him. How can we trust Him? By having faith that the Lord is the answer. And I heard the old saint used to sing a song, said like a ship that's tossed and driven like an animal out on the raging sea. Through a storm of life it raging. Y'all ain't saying nothing. He told us, yes He did, that God will make a way somehow. And I stopped by to tell you, your balance, God will make a way even in the valley. God will make a way even when you're having a mountaintop experience. God will make a way. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Surely He will. We can just trust Him enough to realize it's not about us, but it's about Jesus. Even though the storm rages in our life, it's only God trying to get the glory out of us. If we just trust Him, can I get a witness? I can see the man of God sleep in his house. And let me tell you something. Don't you know that God will show up when you don't even know He's there? God will show up when you thought He's absent. Am I right about it? Can you prove it, preacher? For the Bible said Elijah was in his house sleeping when the servant got up early in the morning, went out and looked, and the army of the enemy had surrounded the house. Can I get a witness? He ran back in, told Elijah, he said, at least my master said the enemy is all around us. But Elijah told him, don't you worry, there's more for us than them that's against us. He prayed that the young man eyes would come open. When it came open, he saw God's army surrounded everywhere with chariots of fire. Don't you know God will I stop by to tell you. The problem is we need to stop looking for Rome and start looking for Jesus. Stop looking for downfalls and start looking for more grace of God. You'll find out that life is so much better if we just learn to let God be God. We can't figure out God's ways, but I want you to know if you trust Him, it's already working in your favor. If you trust Him, it's already working in your behalf. The problem is we're trying to do it our way. And I want you to know your way ain't going to work because you don't have sense enough to outthink God. Your mind is finite. It's just limited. But God is superior. How about you? Will you let God just do what He needs to do? Will you learn how to trust Him? I keep talking about the disciples. How God was trying to teach them how to trust Him. But the problem is, they were too busy trying to figure out stuff in the storm, trying to figure out how to row the boat. In the storm, trying to figure out how to make the waves and the water and the storm cease. God is in control. We got to learn how to let God be in control. When we let God be in control, God's going to do what we need done. He's going to do what's right toward us. Even if we don't do right, God's going to do right. The problem is we want to do it our way.
Yes, Lord.
But today you need to let God be God. Because He's in control. If you let Him be God. And I wish I had some sanctified folks today.
Yes, Lord.
Don't mind helping me. Because when we let God be God, we can just let God take total control. And saints of God, a lot of us gonna miss heaven because of our mentality. We got to let God be God. You can't figure Him out. Just let God be God. How about you today? Have you tried? Can you trust Him? Can you let God have His way? How about you? Well, I got to hush. I got to preach again. But today, if you just let God be God, I want you to know He's working it out in your favor already. You can't see it. You ain't supposed to see it. You ain't supposed to understand. You're just supposed to trust. I want you to know something, sisters and brothers. That if you don't be able to say nothing, you ought to be able to just hold your hand and say, Lord, I trust you.
Lord, I trust you.
Huh? Lord, I trust you. Because you God all by yourself. If I